What's up, guys? It's your Swin coming to you with another video. I know it's been a while, but life has been kind of busy lately, kind of hectic with holidays and birthdays, and it's a crazy time of year for me up here. That being said, this video hopefully will make up for it. This is a long-awaited video. A lot of people have asked for advice on countering Randall as well as Beast, so that's mostly going to be the focus of this video is um, being able to take out those two characters. Now, instead of giving you just, hey, use this hero or hey, use this hero, I'm actually going to break down why they are so difficult to take out and then tell you how to counter that. I will give you some options, but the focus of the video is going to be more of shutting down that hero specifically rather than just who to use against them. Now, if you've seen Survivor, the slogan of Survivor was outwit, outplay, outlast. So I'm going to, when I make videos like this in the future, use those three terms in order to kind of tell you how you should take down this hero. Outwit will be using control. You need to, and basically charm them or use somebody that changes their form, such as Genie or Merlin. That would be a control. And again, outwit. Now, outplay would just be shutting down their skills. So, for instance, the freeze team. This is who that would fall under. If you get frozen all the time, you're not going to be able to play. So, that's when Miss Piggy and Anger and characters like that come into play. That would be outplay. And then outlast is just going to be simply you've got to outlive them. You've got to have a hero that's stronger because the amount of damage or their skills or whatever are so difficult to take down that you need to play a specific way in order to take down this hero. Now, for the start, let's start with Beast, because Beast is definitely going to be the easier out of the two to counter. Let's go ahead and bring up Beast. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read his white skill. It says he roars and enters a rage for 10 seconds. This is important to remember, 10 seconds. While the skill is active, his attack and movement speed are increased by 200%. Not really important. Yes, it's what makes him so hard to shut down, but not for shutting him down. He heals for a certain amount of HP each time he crits an enemy, and he cannot fall below 1 HP. Now, if you'll notice, that means if he does not land a critical hit, he is not healing. Basically, if you can make it to where your team has immunity from critical hits, he cannot heal himself, and it's easy to shut him down, even if he is in his rage. The other thing, like I said, to notice is that it only lasts for 10 seconds. So any kind of debuff or control that lasts for longer than that is definitely one that you will be wanting to use. Now, again, his health can't go below 1 HP. So the goal is to be able to control him or disable him for at least 10 seconds to run out his white skill, because then he will only have 1 HP left, making him very easy to knock out. Something to pay attention to with Beast. 2 skills allow a character to resist disables, and that would be tenacity and evasion. Tenacity lowers the time of a disable. For instance, if a disable is 10 seconds, it might lower it to 8 seconds or 7 seconds, depending on the strength of the tenacity of the character, as well as obviously the power of the person using the skill. Let's go over to somebody I know who has it. Where are you, my friend? Pan. Pan, on the other hand, has evasion. Evasion allows you to just completely bypass a disable. In other words, it doesn't affect you at all. So obviously, evasion is a little bit better than tenacity. If you can completely block the disable, you don't have to worry about how long it lasts. Now, going back to Beast and how to counter him. Now, as I've said, the rage only lasts for 10 seconds. So anybody with a control that lasts longer than 10 seconds or longer can shut him down long enough for your team to knock him out. Some suggestions include Jafar. His white skill cannot be affected by Beast's tenacity for the simple reason that Jafar's white skill does not have a timer. It instead goes until he runs out of energy, which lasts 12 seconds of combat. I checked it this morning. So, that being said, if you can grab Beast with Jafar, you can hold him for longer than his rage lasts, making it very easy for your team to take him out. Merlin is by far my go-to when I'm taking on the Beast. Merlin is amazing at just taking out somebody that you cannot normally deal with in the game. And his teacher's pet skill lasts for 18 seconds. Now, he does target the enemy with the highest basic damage, but if you know anything about Beast, he's got an insane amount of basic damage because most of his skills rely on normal damage. So, that being said, even though Beast Knight might not be your first target for Merlin's attack, he can still be very useful in shutting down the Beast. Another way, like I said, to shut him down would be to make your team immune to critical hits. Timon and Pumbaa, with their Hakuna Matata, allow... Excuse me. There it is. Okay. Once you unlock their pink skill, Hakuna Matata gives allies immunity to all crits, meaning that no matter how much damage Beast is causing, he cannot land critical hits, making it impossible for him to heal himself. I would definitely suggest, it's me, I think having that extra chance to have Hakuna Matata activate with his Stitch Disc during battle, if you're using him for this reason to shut down criticals, it is essential to have it be able to go off a second time. The only problem and issue with it is sometimes Timon and Pumbaa don't take enough direct damage to launch this skill, or the skill that's attached to the badge, the second Hakuna Matata, because they don't fall below 50% before your front line is taken out. So, something to take into consideration. They will help take out the Beast, but they are not on their own going to really be able to drop him. Now, we do have a few new... one more. Hook. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have hookup, this is the reason that we have so many Beast and Randall cleanups on the board. Hook, his white skill at this moment in time is currently set up to where when he is using his counters, his unlimited counters, for each time he damages and or kills an enemy, he gains energy back, allowing him to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. He can take out multiple enemies in the front line just by them touching him over and over again. And he's able to shut down a Beast that's on aggro for as long as the Beast can only target him. If the Beast is able to hit somebody else, he will get hurt. And Hook's not going to be able to stand the onslaught as soon as he gets out of his white skill. So only in his white skill stance or status is he able to shut down the beast. A few other suggestions that I have for this. I have not played, or I have not been able to play with either of these characters well enough or long enough to really tell if it works. But I do notice that Powerline has a 10-second freeze as one of his skills. So again, this is not a complete list of counters. This is, hey, this is how you do it with some examples and, hey, maybe some suggestions. So anybody with a 10-second disable or close to a 10-second disable would probably be good used against him. Dr. Facilier, one of the newer characters, again, may be useful against both of these characters, actually, to be 100% honest, for the simple reason that his white skill allows him to place, let me see what the wording is, hold on just a second. It allows him to place a totem. I just don't remember how he chooses it. The closest enemy, turning them into a frog. And he applies a shield. Now, when his shield is gone, they revert back to their normal form. But from what I can tell, as long as that shield's up, they are remaining in frog form. So this could last up to 17 seconds, making it literally the second longest disable currently in the game. So with that being said, he may again prove also to be another useful hero. I just, again, have not played with either him or... I started Powerline, but I haven't gotten him up far enough to say, yes, that's a good option. Now, let's go ahead and switch gears to the real focus of this video. Taking down Randall. Randall's white skill. Now, his counter, there's nothing you can do about that. If he's countering your attack, he's going to hit back, and he's going to hit back hard. But we have faced so many other enemies with counters. If you don't know how to take out counters at this point in time, I mean, it's kind of a control game. It's kind of have some strong people up front game. It's maybe even have a counter person of your own up front. But this is going to be, again, how do I shut down Randall? And what I'm going to tell you is how to take out his white skill, again, from being an active part of combat. Now, if we go and read his white skill, chooses an enemy, then the player chooses an enemy, and then Randall becomes invisible and crawls, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you can read the whole skill. But what's important about the skill is the last sentence. When on auto, Randall chooses the enemy with the most HP. Now, obviously, and if you didn't know this, so just let me brain blast you for a second. Guess what? Every time you fight somebody, their heroes are fighting on auto, which means any Randall that you go up against, this will pertain to. So, they are going to go after... he's going to go after, with his white skill, the hero with the most HP. So, when we are talking about how to defeat Randall, it is going to be Outlast. You are going to have to find, normally, somebody that has a ton of HP, preferably somebody that can self-heal, and put them out on the field. Doing this allows you to basically have a lightning rod for Randall's white skill, so that when he does use his white skill and slither up, it doesn't necessarily knock that person out. Now, Randall has a very high evasion chance, or a decently high evasion chance. It's about 155, and that means that basically, more or less, he has a decent chance of evading skills or anything that's thrown against him. Now, I am not saying it's impossible. He just has a decent chance of being able to not be hit by a charm. So my best guess and my best advice to you is to find somebody that has a lot of HP and make them be a target. However, the first suggestion I'm going to give you isn't somebody that's going to play that way. Again, the first suggestion is going to be Hook. Hook cannot be damaged while in his white scale. So if Hook is the hero with the most HP in the battle on your team and Randall goes to hit him while he's doing his white scale, it doesn't matter how high Randall's damage is because he will not be able to hurt him. And Hook will counter back with his own counter, smashing into Randall and hurting him. The second suggestion is actually the other hero we're talking about how to shut down. It would be Beast. Beast, again, when using his white skill, cannot be knocked below 1 HP. Meaning, again, that if Beast is the one with the highest HP and Randall goes to knock him out and he's in his white skill status, it doesn't matter how hard Randall hits because Beast can immediately jump back up and land a few critical hits and heal himself. Now, somebody that I would always suggest taking against Randall would be Joy. Joy does a decent amount of reality protection, especially with the Olaf disc. It gives her the ability to stack happiness up on her realities like nobody's business, giving her tons and tons of her allies at least a really large reality boost. So she's always somebody that I would suggest bringing around. You can use Ducky and Bunny. I have seen Ducky and Bunny be strong enough to take down a Randall. However, you have to have a backup support hero. And it doesn't help to have a few control heroes in line with him, especially if you've got the Merlin disc on him. So, with that being said, these unfortunately are my best suggestions. Now, doing a little bit of research, I was able to find out kind of what Graf had already posted. So I'm going to go ahead and bring his stuff up right now. A lot of people are telling us that the Magicka with the Megavolt disc is really useful at shutting down Randall. Now, this is because when Magicka uses her white skill, and she's got her purple unlocked, she eventually targets the most wanted enemy, which means the person that's causing the most damage. And if you know anything about Randall, chances are if he's in your lineup, he's causing the most damage. So, she's going to be able to target him and help take him out of the game a lot faster. Other suggestions include Launchpad. I did see this on forums. People were talking about using Launchpad, using Duke Kaboom. So, there's people are still trying to test and figure out what works well against him. I mean, honestly, I kind of called it on day one when Randall came out. I was like, guys, you gotta get this hero up. He's gonna be amazing. And sure enough, Randall has been by far one of the hardest to take down for a while now. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video there. This is, again, my best attempt to teach you guys how to kind of counter those two heroes. I know we've had tons of problems in the past with those two heroes being the only hero that's left in a line, at the very end of a battle. So I hope that this video was very informative. I hope everybody learns something, and I hope to come out with another video, hopefully very soon, featuring a review on some of the other newer heroes. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see y'all soon.